Here we are at HarperCollins in New York with two of our wonderful authors, Father James Martin and Hope Gillerman. Hope is an aromatherapist who's written a book about essential oils, and Father James Martin, as you may know, is a Jesuit priest who is going to learn something new from Hope Gillerman about essential oils dating back to the time of Jesus. Take it away.
Yay! So, Jim, I wanted to introduce you to spikenard essential oil because we read about Mary Magdalene and how she used spikenard and she anointed Jesus' feet with it. But I have a little bit more to that story. But first of all, the most important part of the story is to go back in time and smell it.
It's beautiful.
It's a very deep, earthy scent. Mm-hmm. It's actually a dark brown oil. Mm-hmm. And
what does that mean, a dark brown oil?
The color of it is actually, it's in a bottle so it doesn't get exposed to light.
I thought it was some technical term, right? Beautiful.
Oils come in all different colors. So anyway, the story is that most people think of the story as she was anointing his feet, but in fact she put it on her hair. Mm-hmm. And so what that meant was that everywhere that she circulated in her home, she was infusing. She was like a human essential oil diffuser. And so the whole house was filled with this aroma. And so it wasn't just affecting him because she was putting it on his feet. It was also affecting him because he was absorbing it into the air that he was breathing.
It's fascinating because, you know, I've always read about, how do you say it? Do you say spikenard or spikenard?
Spikenard.
Now, what does it come from? Do you know? Like, I mean, is it like
it's a resin.
It's a resin from a particular tree, do you know?
The spikenard, yeah.
The spikenard tree, which is, what is, I mean, is that the only thing it's used for? Does it bear fruit as well, or?
I'm not so familiar with that, actually. I've just gotten into using the oil so exclusively. I haven't done enough research on that. I'd better do that.
Well, now it's interesting.
If it has a fruit.
It's interesting because, you know, she breaks open that alabaster jar, you know,
yes.
as you know, full of spikenard. And some people complain, you know, because especially like Judas complains, you know, why are you doing that? You know, you're wasting money, basically. But another interesting thing, which I think you might be interested in, is that in some of the other Gospels, there's a woman in the Gospel who anoints his head. Mm-hmm. And later that was changed, some people think, to feet because it's a kind of kingly gesture, a royal gesture. And some people think that that was changed later to kind of suppress the role of the woman in the story. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I've heard that.
So God forbid that we should have a woman anointing Jesus as a king on the head. And so a lot of people think that the anointing of the feet, you know, was actually a later addition to kind of suppress that. But this is so interesting because I love the part in the Gospels where they said, and the smell filled the whole house.
Yes.
You know, which is so beautiful. So thanks. I've never, ever
And it's definitely filling the whole studio.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I wanted to say something about the head and the feet, actually, which is from an aromatherapy standpoint, if you anoint it on the head, it's going to be more deeply absorbed into the body, because anytime you apply an essential oil near the face, it's not just being absorbed through your skin, you're also inhaling more of the vapors. Or if you put it on the feet, where it's farther, it would be subtler. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, thanks for introducing. I've always wanted, seriously, I always wanted to know what spikenard was, because they'll either say precious nard or spikenard.
Yes,
and I've always wanted to smell it, so thanks. It's
I'm
wonderful
so
to
glad
meet
I
you.
got to
Yeah,
introduce
thanks.
you to you.
Thank you very much. Nice
You're
to meet
welcome.
you. Fantastic.